Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another best of 5 series taken from the Valencia DreamHack tournament held in Spain in the year 2022 July. So very recent replays here, very recent best of 5 like I told you, in between the two pro players from the international scene, as we have spawning here in the low right in the red. It is HARSTEM from the Netherlands and his opponent spawning here in the upper left in the blue. It is Scarlett from Canada. So really interesting series in between these two pros. Let's just see exactly what they have prepared for us, as they're currently spawning on Cosmic Sapphire ASL map, as you can see here in the lower left. And yeah, I believe it is a 2 spawning location map. So the Netherlands versus Canada, really interesting matchup. And yeah, by the looks of it, HARSTEM opening up here pretty standard, not deciding to move out with his probe to be annoying to cancel the first expansion point from the Zerg, as yeah, he's just going straight for a pylon and gateway here, and a really nice choke point that helps actually the Protoss really a lot, even the Terran, just to wall in against the Zerg. Now let's have a look at Scarlett. Looks like she's heading straight for a fast expansion into an extractor, and later on this should be followed of course with a spawning pool. Now the probe is already here in for HARSTEM. He sees of course the build order, knows that it's going to be a pretty standard build order for the Zerg what Scarlett has chosen here. Let's just see how that works out for her. There is a gas up for HARSTEM. Let's have a look. He's also going for his expansion, so walling really nicely with his cybernetics core. So yeah, pretty standard build order for both of them, like I told you. So nothing out of the ordinary yet, no early aggression, just this one probe, almost at pylon, just this one probe here being really annoying of course, but also giving important vision towards HARSTEM what exactly Scarlett is going for. Now the first queen is being produced, second queen here of course as well for Scarlett, as her overlord also makes it really nicely here into the expansion point from HARSTEM. Let's see what exactly is HARSTEM going for. Could it be a Stargate? Yes indeed, he's going for a Stargate, just like many Protoss really like to do that, just to harass the Zerg with a Oracle, or even a Voidway could be an interesting option here for the Protoss. Now speed is being upgraded here for Scarlett. She's of course known, I did cast many games of her with her timing pushes against the Protoss. So even around the 6-minute mark, or even earlier, she might try a bust here through with some roaches, with some Zerglings. Would be very interesting to see if she's going to decide to go for this build order as well here against HARSTEM. Now the Stargate is going to be finished really soon. Let's see if HARSTEM goes for a Voidway or Oracle first. Would be very interesting to see. Currently, yes indeed, he's going for an Oracle. So this means that he's going to be really aggressive against Scarlett, especially against the economy here from Scarlett. So Scarlett might have to try to spawn a spore colony into this location or into that expansion, as she's now going for her second expansion. And yeah, let's have a look at this. Oracle is even being boosted out by HARSTEM, so very interesting build order by him, as he's adding another gateway here around the 3-minute and 30-second mark. There's this one Oracle, might lose some energy against those Zerglings, or he's just flying by, perhaps heading straight towards this expansion point where a queen is already waiting. But they're currently just giving vision to that one stalker to snipe the overlord, and a very interesting and nice movement by HARSTEM. A very early second expansion here for him. I believe this is build order against the Zerg, so really nicely done by him, as some probes are getting, actually some drones are getting transferred here by Scarlett. Let's check her main. Still that spawning pool out. I don't see a roach war, and there's this one spore. You can of course check the production tab in the upper left bar just in case I'm missing something. And in comes the Oracle. Still a lot of energy, no kills for it, as it might try to go for this expansion point. It's a second Oracle even now, so some drones might get killed. HARSTEM sadly not paying attention. There's one Oracle almost getting killed here, so he needs to be of course a little bit more careful. Perhaps he was busy with something else. And yeah, let's have a look into his main. He's actually massing some gateways, so he's going straight into speed legs for those zealots and mass gateways. We might see a drop Let's have a look what exactly his plans are. Really many many gateways. Of course, this early second expansion might allow him to go for really heavy build order for some zealots really soon, and we even have a boosted shuttle here for the Protoss. Now the oracles are still out, 2 kills for this one, 2 for this one, so perhaps some drones might have sniped, but I think it was actually Zerglings because we didn't see any drones being killed. Nice revelance being used here onto the expansion point. There's the Roach Warrant, with a kind of late Roach Warrant here for Scarlett. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what exactly her plans out. By the looks of it, she's just taking some queens into those overlords, and even this one overlord. So nice timing push here by Scarlett. I really like that. And this one pylon here, really badly positioned by HARSTEM ZvP, but of course didn't guess that a drop would come from Scarlett. So Scarlett attacking in multiple places at one time. This one pylon, of course, empowering all of those gateways. A very nice Artosis pylon there. And yeah, Scarlett bringing more and more of her Zerglings into the gameplay, even those queens getting dropped. And also nice vomit out of this Zerg creep, just to allow those queens to heal themselves up. Finally the Zerglings have been cleared there, but yeah, the damage has already been done as those gateways were unpowered. And we have a nice shield battery here for HARSTEM, which is going to keep him into the game. But in come the reinforcements for Scarlett with those roaches, as the queens are still nicely healing up. So very interesting strategy here by Scarlett being shown. Nice timing push, of course, with that creep being spawned by those overlords. Really nicely executed by her. In the end, this will be held, of course, by HARSTEM, as those zealots are really tanky, and speed also has been done for them. Yeah, let's have a look what the next steps are going to be. We might see a drop here from zealots, but yeah, the timing is really nicely for Scarlett here. She's going to intercept this one shuttle, and by the looks of it, yes, she's going to snipe it, and even some workers to get killed here for the Scarlett. So Scarlett with some really early nice pickups against HARSTEM. So HARSTEM even having to pull back here, as slowly but steadily we're closing at the 10-minute mark. So really early and exciting game in between these two players. Let's have a look if this Oracle is perhaps going to snipe some units here. We might see something getting killed, as an evolution chamber is also being spawned. So yeah, HARSTEM nicely using this Oracle just to give vision what exactly Scarlett is going for. But yeah, really soon the Oracle might fall, as it's dropping really low, but a nice exploration by this one. Oracle seeing everything Scarlett does. Yeah, by the looks of it, the things have calmed down. Hold on, we actually see 3 kills. Somehow, yes, indeed, it's going to be once again an overlord drop with some Zerglings. 3 kills for Scarlett once again. Worker wise, we still see quite the same number, 57 for Scarlett and 52 for HARSTEM. So yeah, really early nice game by these two. There's massive amounts of zealots with some adepts, with some sentries for HARSTEM. Let's see how this will work out. Of course, the force fields will very likely be used here into this choke point. Really important with those sentries. Yeah, Scarlett looking like she's preparing once again an attack, this time with roaches, with ravagers. Let's see how this will work out for her, as HARSTEM is still really heavy onto those zealots. And one Oracle also giving nice vision here for Scarlett. For Scarlett is also paying time for that expansion, but at the same time HARSTEM is also expanding here. However, Scarlett not going to allow this with so many Zerglings attacking this point. At the same time, HARSTEM is also attacking with some zealots here. So yeah, both players pretty much hurting each other as much as they can, and somehow this Nexus is surviving. At the same time, the hatchery also survives here. So nice pickups, as we have really soon we're going to be passing the 10-minute mark, as yeah, by the looks of it, things are settling down slowly but steadily. Still a roach warren, still a layer for Scarlett, as more and more queen eggs are being spawned here just to give more and more creep. Yeah, we do see a transition here from HARSTEM into Archons, into some mortals, and we even have a sniping here from 3 drones. I believe that should have been a Oracle, but no, hold on, it's actually a couple of zealots here into the main. So nice stuff by HARSTEM. also sees the Spire, so we might see some Mutalisk really soon from Scarlett. It's going to be a very interesting transition by her as well. So the reaction from HARSTEM should of course be some Void Rays, some Stalkers, as even though he has Archons, and those Archons are really good against air, but they're not as fast as those Mutalisk, still with that splash damage. Also a nice counter against those Mutalisk. But yeah, still we have to see what exactly the plans are, as we see massive amounts of Banelings. Of course, Banelings really good against any ground units, as the Banelings just keep pushing here forward into those Overlords. So we might see a drop into this location. There is one cannon here for HARSTEM. Let's have a look how this will unfold for Scarlett as she's moving forward, but at the same time she's just doing a distraction move with those Zerglings, with those roaches. We need of course to be careful with those Overlords, as in come the Banelings here. Of course, Banelings really good against those Zealots. The two Overlords, I see them in the lower left, there they are, as HARSTEM is going to hold this position, but Scarlett is of course nicely mind tricking HARSTEM, as those Banelings could be really devastating here against the probes from HARSTEM. And yeah, let's have a look when exactly Scarlett is going to decide to attack. At the same time, HARSTEM also moving out with his shuttle into this position. He might try to warp in some Zealots, but at the same time let's be really careful here with this one drop with the Banelings. Scarlett dropping those Banelings, nicely done her by her. 5 kills, as the second Overlord is also pushing here forward. Same time, nice warping by HARSTEM, so lots and lots of action going on. There's that one second Overlord, there are some Phoenixes out, but 10 probes have already been killed. Really nicely done by Scarlett. As for Zerglings will also hold this position, so nice pickups by her. Sadly for HARSTEM, his drop didn't really make anything happen, as there were some Corruptors here into this location just to defend. So yeah, let's see how things will unfold. Massive amounts of Archons. Archons of course really good in the late game. Immortals also really strong against those Roaches, against those Ravagers. And yeah, let's see, is Scarlett going to try for a surround? There are some nice pickups here out of those Phoenixes. As once again, one Overlord has been sniped. Now Scarlett slowly but steadily moving here forward. Once again, some probes have been killed. There they are, 10 probes. I don't know what exactly those probes were doing there. Sadly for HARSTEM, he's losing more and more probes, as Scarlett tries to find of course a better position for her units. Some Corruptors even make it here through, but yeah, those Stalkers are ready to intercept really nicely. So nice job here by HARSTEM defending, but at the same time with a little bit of a mistake, of course it happens, losing 10 probes. And yeah, still a very defensive Protoss versus the Zerg, who's trying to get the middle of the map, who's trying to get more and more creep, of course, being spreaded. Nice spread out of HARSTEM with his armies, with those Zealots, with those Archons, Immortals. He might try to regroup, he might try to attack. High Templar Storm should of course be available. We have a Greater Spire being produced by Scarlett, so we might see some Broodlords. Of course, the Broodlords would be the perfect counter against those Archons, against those Immortals, and against any ground army from the Protoss. So let's see what exactly is going to happen, what exactly Scarlett is going for. Nice storms here by HARSTEM, really nicely used defensively just to kill those Zerglings and those Banelings. And yeah, Archons in the front, really tanky. Nice micro by HARSTEM, avoiding those fireballs out of those roaches and those storms. Really working nicely here for HARSTEM, and slowly but steadily he's pushing forward Immortals with Archons, with some High Templars. And yeah, having a really good position, nicely clumped up together. He needs to be careful with Scarlett having the high ground, but Storm is of course available as more and more units do join the attack from HARSTEM. The Banelings are rolling in, but the Storms pretty much take care of those Banelings. Now HARSTEM has the high ground. I don't think that Scarlett should engage here, because the Banelings do get some connections, but still HARSTEM really tanky, as now Scarlett finally coming in from all sides. He should have now a better position. Still those Immortals are really strong, really tanky, and the reinforcements from HARSTEM are exactly on time. So nice jump here forward with those Stalkers. Immortals are still pretty much alive, 5 of them. Sadly for HARSTEM, he did lose quite a great number of Archons. Now it's just pretty much relying onto those immortals. And yeah, so much damage being dealt against Scarlett. Scarlett, of course, is hurting. And now in the end, HARSTEM decides to retreat, but at the same time, he is deciding to expand. Same can be said for Scarlett. And interesting enough, she knows, of course, she's against so much ground as she has went into mass spires. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the main from HARSTEM. Still really heavy onto those gateways. Let's check Scarlett really soon. What exactly she is going for. Still a greater spire, so like I told you, we might see some broodlords. It should be, of course, an option, but currently just ravagers and roaches for her as she's moving forward. She might try find a good position here on the high ground of this ramp. And yeah, let's see how things will unfold. Some fireballs could be dropped here really nicely into this location. And there's still massive amounts of ravagers, nice fireballs, but yeah, HARSTEM still really heavy onto that army count, as he's also trying to, of course, surround those units from Scarlett somehow. So we have a nice cat and mouse game once again in between these two pros. Slowly but steadily we're closing at the 20-minute mark, so really interesting game number one in between them. Yeah, let's have a look how this will unfold. A great blink here forward by HARSTEM, sniping some of those units as the reinforcements are coming in for Scarlett. We see those two Archons in the front really dealing massive amounts of splash damage. And yeah, HARSTEM should of course hold this with so many storms, but we also see some damage being dealt here into this location. It could have been a drop with some banelings, other banelings getting some connections here. So nice job by Scarlett. But yeah, HARSTEM really holding on, really strong. And look at that worker count, he's at 85 versus the 75 from Scarlett, so his economy is really strong, as he's being able to push more and more group of zealots out. At the same time, his army is also really strong, as he's nicely kiting back and forth to just lure Scarlett into those high Templar storms. So nice job by HARSTEM here. And yeah, those zealots are also nicely forcing Scarlett to bring some units here into this location. As yeah, let's see, HARSTEM is in the middle of the map. He has now a shuttle. He can of course micro even better, but those fireballs will get the good connections. So yeah, Scarlett nicely snapping this one shuttle. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. HARSTEM now on the high ground. There is some damage being dealt here, but the zealots will be ready to defend, as the queen eggs might get sniped here really soon by HARSTEM. Yeah, HARSTEM really nicely forward. He needs to be careful not to eat so many fireballs out of those ravagers. And now we finally do see those broodlords. So those broodlords are of course a perfect counter to this ground unit, as HARSTEM knows this and he's just retreating against it. So we might see a transition from HARSTEM into Stalker. Stalkers with blink would be really good against those units. And yeah, of course, high Templar Storm, perfect against any ground or air unit. Sadly for HARSTEM, is going to lose this expansion, of course. Those broodlords now, 6 of them, really strong. Some probes do fall as well. HARSTEM seems to be trying to find some time just to go for another unit compulsion. Scarlett, however, all over the place, attacking against those immortals, against those stalkers. Really hard. Of course, HARSTEM knows that those broodlords aren't really that fast. This is exactly why he's kiting his units back. And yeah, at the same time, Scarlett also deciding to retreat. We do have one nice observer here into this location. So yeah, nice job by both of them. Really interesting game number one, like I told you. Let's see how things will unfold. Army wise, both squid pretty much at the same count. Economic wise, a small advantage for HARSTEM, as he's sending out those units, those zealots, those Archons, just to harm the economy from Scarlett. At the same time, he's pushing forward. He might try to snap some of those eggs, some of those banelings eggs. And yeah, 4 probes have been killed somewhere on the map, I believe here. So Scarlett pretty much nicely moving forward with a small group of Zerglings. There is a shield battery, but 11 Zerglings have been killed. Yeah, finally HARSTEM is going to block the road for those Zerglings as he's moving here forward with his stalkers. At the same time, we have a small engagement here. Scarlett is able to defend this really nicely. And yeah, things have settled down quite a little bit. Many high Templar storms for HARSTEM available here against Scarlett. So yeah, remember, one high Templar can cast of course 2 storms against this massive amounts of army from the Zerg. Always a nice unit to have if you're a Protoss player. Storm's really strong. Some long distance mining going on here for HARSTEM. There's some Zerglings are once again being sent out by Scarlett. She's also sending out here her main army into the middle, so we do actually see some Tempest. And yeah, sadly here for Scarlett, she's not really having any anti-air here, just those Ravagers with the fireballs against the Tempest. So let's see how this will work out for her. She really needs some Corruptors. At the same time, she's taking out some of those probes. But yeah, Stalkers are here with some Storms. At the same time, we do have once again a run by with those Zealots out of HARSTEM, but the Banings are able to take care of this. So HARSTEM really nicely transitioning here into Tempests. And yeah, Scarlett caught a little bit off guard with those Tempests. So many Brutals for her, but she really needs some Corruptors as she's already almost maxed out. So this is really good for HARSTEM, having those Tempests. Always a good late unit. I believe Scarlett could even kill some of her own units just to spawn more and more Corruptors, and there are those Corruptors. Actually, she just had to transition, of course, into those Corruptors, as we see one lone Stalker getting sniped here. So yeah, at the same time, we also see the hatchery getting sniped here really nicely by HARSTEM. And yeah, let's see what the next steps are going to be here as we've passed the 20-minute mark. What exactly is going to happen? HARSTEM tries to expand, of course, into this location. Yeah, let's see when exactly a next strong engagement could happen here. We have a really nice army composition out of Scarlett, Brutals and Corruptors. And yeah, nice stuff here added by HARSTEM, even having a mothership with Archons, with some Tempest, with some Zealots, and some High Tempo Stormers, of course, really important unit to have, like I told you. Yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Scarlett is the one making the first move. It's quite a small army groove here for her. She has some Infestors, so some Fungus could be casted by her. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Fungus and also Mind Control could be also casted by her against those Tempest, against this one Mothership, against the Archons. And at the same time, we see this one Hatchery almost once again getting sniped. Scarlett should cancel it, sadly. A bit too late to cancel that. And yeah, slowly but steadily HARSTEM does move here forward as some spores are being produced by the Zerg, of course, just to counter that one Mothership and those Tempests. And yeah, let's see. More groups of Zealots are being sent out just to damage the economy as much as possible here for Scarlett. And look at that, even the small group of Zealots killing 10, even 11 drones. We have another run by here by HARSTEM, but he's going straight for those spines. And yeah, let's see how things will now unfold once again as Scarlett is able to hold this position. And yeah, the Tempest are honestly moving out for her with the Mothership, with the Archons. A really scary army here for HARSTEM. Really nice. Very rare to see even two Oracles into this one army. Massive amounts of Corruptors, of Tempests. And yeah, some Archons, of course, against those Corruptors. So really a respectful army. We do see some Vipers, we do see some Infestors by Scarlett, lots and lots of them. And we're going to be able to see a really strong engagement, but let's see exactly when it's going to happen. As slowly but steadily we're passing the 25-minute mark. Scarlett deciding to split her troops. She might try to attack here, but this base is already mined out, so I don't see exactly why she's going for this one base. Perhaps she's just trying to make way into the main from HARSTEM as her units are attacking here. We see a recall, so yeah, perhaps this was the idea from Scarlett, but not all of those units have been recalled. It's a nice mind game by most of them. So interesting stuff. A better position here for Scarlett, but in the end HARSTEM should be able to surround this and take it out. So nice defense by her, by him, in the nice mind game with this one recall. And yeah, let's see what the next moves are going to be, and next regrouping here going on for the Zerg with some Vipers, with some Raptors. We might see some blinding clouds, we might see some parasitic bombs against those Tempests. Diversity bombs really good against those slow moving tempests, as those zealots are really good for HARSTEM. And yeah, still both players trying to regroup, trying to find a good position. Of course, the high temper storms are going to be really important for HARSTEM here, as we see the Tempest nicely sniping one Broodwar after the other. Really great unit to have. Look at that range, really strong feedback being used by those Tempers. And yeah, really nice sniping going on for HARSTEM, as some Zerglings are pulling in for him. And yeah, those Tempers, remember, they're invisible, so Scarlett still needs this Overseer just to see everything. And we even have a casual carrier, even two of them joining the army. So nice sniping from HARSTEM. Every unit counts, of course, a lot in the late game, so every kill is really important, as HARSTEM decides, of course, to attack the base that is still mining from Scarlett. And look at that, those Tempests, the perfect counter towards those Broodlords, but it's really important to micro them really nicely. Scarlett tries to attack with a small group of zealots, but the real damage is, of course, happening here in the dislocation. So nice mix of units for HARSTEM. Same can be said here by Scarlett, but those Tempests are really nicely working for HARSTEM, as he's sniping one unit after the other. Really nice job by him, Scarlett, sadly for her not being able to reach those Tempests. And yet those Tempests are even invisible onto that mothership. Look at that, HARSTEM once again decides to move forward. Of course, Scarlett tries to harpoon those units, but in the end, even the Oracles are nicely giving vision here for HARSTEM against the units from Scarlett. And yeah, like I told you, every unit counts. And look at that, even a bubble looking like spell from this one mothership, just to slowing down those units. And here we go, we have a nice engagement. Also many units are hurt for Scarlett. Those Tempests are nicely sniping one after the other. Finally, then Corruptors do make it here forward. They're nicely avoiding those high temper storms. And nicely one Tempest after the other is getting sniped. But still HARSTEM holds on, and his units are still being alive. So really nice job by him. Some Tempests are being alive. The mothership has been sniped, I believe, but we do have carriers, we do have Tempests for HARSTEM as he's pushing here forward. And yeah, let's see what mines. This gold mine is really important here for Scarlett, as sadly for her, she has lost. She's going to lose 2 bases here by the end of this, and now Scarlett moves here forward. But interesting enough, she's attacking the expansions that are not really mining minerals from the Protoss. We do see a recall out of those units just to make it here home, just to snipe those Zerglings. But yeah, of course, this base is really important. This is why exactly HARSTEM has decided to add so many cannons. But hold on, we do see 18 workers being sniped here. So yeah, Scarlett transitioning straight into some ult risk. Where exactly did those workers fall for HARSTEM? I believe you could even sacrifice them, but no, it's just 44 workers for Scarlett, 52 for HARSTEM. So both players quite losing some units, quite losing some workers. Army wise, you do see, however, more army for HARSTEM against Scarlett, and this base is really important, like I told you. So this might be the next attacking move for HARSTEM, as it's actually the only base mining. Only this one is mining here as well, but really small. And Scarlett only having those ult risk, but what exactly can they do against the areas, against the even void rays now from Scarlett? Look at that, really nice job. And the Nexus stays alive, so Scarlett has to retreat. Not that much being left here for her, and HARSTEM in a really good situation. However, he really has to snap this one gold base in the lower left, playing it really cautiously, really patiently here, as we still have some quite huge amount of numbers of Corruptors. You might see some vomit once again onto those production buildings. You see she's going to vomit onto those stargates. So yeah, lots and lots of vomit going on just to cancel the production from HARSTEM. HARSTEM not deciding to come back, he's heading straight forward to this gold mine, or is he just waiting perhaps for some reinforcements? The Corruptors have done their job, as yeah, now HARSTEM is going to straight go for this base. Drones are being pulled, and yeah, by the looks of it, HARSTEM should be able to snipe this expansion. Some units are fighting it out here. 2 drones have been killed, and yeah, by the worker count, HARSTEM having 7 more workers, but still Corruptors on the hunt on the hunt for more vomit and more vomit onto those nexus, and there we go. Once again, a really interesting spell for the Zerg, just vomit all over the place. So really nice job by Scarlett here, sniping one nexus after the other, and we're even now passing the 30-minute mark. So what an interesting game here for her. But yeah, those Archons are really strong against the air, but HARSTEM might need more and more anti-air units against those Starcraft. Let's see, so many Zealots here for HARSTEM, as we might see an engagement really soon for him. And here we go, one Corruptors nicely sniping those carriers, but we do see Immortals, we do see Zealots from HARSTEM, so he's really strong. As he has sniped once again a hatchery. And yeah, what exactly is going to happen? Those Immortals are of course also really strong. We see some Ultralisk for Scarlett. This base is still untouched, so the base of course really important. There's some long distance mining of course now happening, some stealing going on for HARSTEM, nicely stealing that gold. Every single gold matters of course in the late game. As the same can be said here for Scarlett, she's also long distance mining, and some drones might get killed here, so we might see an engagement. The Zealots are of course in the front, so many drones have been killed, 10 even 11 are working, falling, as HARSTEM still stealing more and more gold out of the pocket from Scarlett. And here let's have a look if they're going to engage here. Such a nice first game. We do see some infestors, we might see some mind control. There is an observer however, so Scarlett needs to be careful. There's one infestor after the other falls. There we have a nice mind control onto this one Archon, and we see great Psionic Storm against those units. And yeah, HARSTEM is actually going to be taking it, as Scarlett has found 29 workers and HARSTEM had more and more supplies. So really nice job for him, taking game number 1-0 for Scarlett, for HARSTEM, sorry. Let's just jump straight into game number 2. And we're back with game number 2. Such an interesting series we have here, such a nice first game. In between them a 30-minute game, such a nice macro oriented game, still anyone's game, but in the end HARSTEM proving to be way too strong with those Archons, with those Storms, with those Tempests, those carriers. At the same time Scarlett also having a nice unit composition, but yeah, in the end HARSTEM taking it nicely for him, as he's now spawning in the upper right in the red, and here is Scarlett in the lower left in the blue, as they're spawning here on ASL Waterfall. So like I told you, games have been played in July 2022 in Valencia. And yeah, let's see what exactly they're going to be doing now. Still the same build order. I see no fast spawning pool for Scarlett, as she's going straight into the expansion, and the same can be said here for HARSTEM, also going for his island, for his gateway. So nothing out of the ordinary. Gas also being produced. You can check of course the build order here in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. So yeah, really like I told you, nice game number 1. So many units. I believe all of the units have been produced. We even had Phoenixes, we even had Oracles, 1 Void Ray, so every single unit available for the Protoss has been produced. Yeah, Scarlett also having lots of infestors. Sadly for her, in the end the infestors have been sniped, so it's not that much mind control being used by her. And yeah, let's see how this game is going to unfold, as we see a 2 spawning location map. I believe it is Waterfall, a very beautiful name for a map. So yeah, the spawning pool should be finishing really soon for Scarlett. We see the same build order just like game number 1, same build order for HARSTEM, and what I really like about him is that he's going straight for his second expansion. So as the Zerg goes for his second expansion, the same can be said for HARSTEM. So it's a very interesting idea by him. And yeah, pretty soon of course he's going to be adding a Stargate, or he might go for a robotics facility bay. It could be used of course. Yeah, let's see how things unfold, as the Overlord is nicely parking himself here into this zone just to see exactly what HARSTEM is up to. We see the first queens being produced, and the first Zerling shootout board should be out really soon, as we see the first Stargate also being produced. So once again, Stargate is going to be here for HARSTEM, as we might see some Oracles, but we could also see some Void Rays by him. So yeah, that's always the question for the Protoss, what exactly he's going for. Of course, many Protosses decide to go for a Void Ray first, just to snipe this one annoying Overlord. And yeah, let's see, is HARSTEM once again going for his expansion into this location, or is he perhaps going to try something new? We should also check Scarlett just to see exactly what she's going for. Still only a spawning pool, there's that expansion, and yeah, so the pretty normal stuff here. Oracle forced it is for HARSTEM, so HARSTEM not wishing to snipe this Overlord, is going straight for the economy from Scarlett, as we see already that rally point being made here for him straight into this expansion point. So really nice job, as more and more creep is being spreaded by Scarlett. We even see the first Zerling move out by her, and another expansion. Yeah, there it is, there's that expansion, as we see the first Oracle and the second Oracle. Now we really like that from HARSTEM, going for this second Oracle, sorry, as he's really going straight to punish the economy from the Zergs. Usually some Protoss go for that Void Ray, but I think Oracle first is really much stronger against the Zerg. We see a nice run by here for Scarlett, as the Oracle has to come back just to counter this. In the end, the probe has been sniped, the attack has been sniped. Yes, the Oracle takes 4 kills nicely here against Scarlett. And yeah, like I told you, this is really nice from the Protoss, having that second expansion up really fast. And the Oracle sadly have to stay back, not being able to push out. And this one expansion already under attack. So yeah, nice timing push by Scarlett, and this is of course to prevent those Oracles to move out against the Zerg. So really nice job by Scarlett. In the end, finally the Oracles are free, but we see 3 queens here. We do see a spore here. Slowly but steadily there, HARSTEM is attacking the units and almost sniping here one drone, but nice micro out of Scarlett, just being able to save those drones. And we even have the third Oracle out, so really nice job here by HARSTEM. He might try to outrun Scarlett into this location. Let's see what exactly he's going for. So many queens of course out. One queen might get snapped, but it can be healed, however not that much energy being left for Scarlett. As yes, slowly but steadily we're closing at the 10-minute mark. We've passed the 5-minute mark. There's another expansion for Scarlett, as sadly here for HARSTEM, he's not really being able to do anything with those Oracles, but at the same time he's now pushing out with Stalkers, with Oracles, and he might, yes indeed, he might be successful here into sniping this one expansion. So Scarlett, sadly for her, caught a little bit of guard. She's sending out, however, so many Zerglings out, ignoring this attack, cancelling of course the expansion. And let's see what those Zerglings can do against so many Stalkers. Not really that much, as she has to retreat a little bit. And yeah, the reinforcements are coming in for HARSTEM, just back, but needs to be careful not to get surrounded out of those Zerglings. And yeah, the one Stalker has fallen. A great creep spread by Scarlett, really almost making it here through towards HARSTEM, as more and more units are being spawned by the Protoss. We see another expansion and another expansion by Scarlett, so it's pretty much expanding all over the place. Yeah, HARSTEM having his expansion up. Once again, HARSTEM really having so many workers really in the early game. This is really good for any Protoss, and only 56 here for HARSTEM, for Scarlett. As we have a nice and interesting positioned gateway into this composition, so he might try to teleport some units into this one pylon location, as more and more units are coming in here forward for HARSTEM. HARSTEM is deciding to go for mass Stalkers. He will of course, or he should be successful to snipe this. At the same time, HARSTEM did take all of those Stalkers, so Scarlett's pretty much moving here forward with so many Zerglings, lots and lots of damage. But yeah, Scarlett should be able to hold here with those Zerglings. At the same time, the Zerglings here sniping 17 workers, so much damage against HARSTEM early on, and he has to retreat a little bit, but the real damage is of course being done out of those Zerglings. Look at that, he's going to be able to snap this one Nexus, and yes, Scarlett takes game number 2, so it's 1-1. Let's just jump straight into game number 3. And we're back with game number 3, a really nice timing push by Scarlett, catching HARSTEM off guard. Of course, HARSTEM pulled everything towards Scarlett just to punish her with those Stalkers, with those units, but in the end not having so many defenses at home. And of course Scarlett abusing that, sending out a group of heavily equipped Zerglings into that expansion point, just killing so many workers, even sniping this one expansion. So yeah, HARSTEM sadly for him caught off guard. Let's see what he's going to be able to be doing here into this interesting looking map. Data C from the ASL, such a nice looking map. Here we have with some cracks into the ground. I believe there's some green larva here looking really nice. So let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. As Scarlett going for her expansion straight, just like in game number 1, and we see HARSTEM also going for the same build order pylon into gateway. It is going to be for him with gas later on. So the pretty standard stuff. Scarlett also checking out the map for some proxy pylons with some gateways, but no such thing out of HARSTEM. She's also taking out that spawning pool with extractor really soon, as the probe sees of course everything Scarlett has. So yeah, there's that expansion point once again going out for HARSTEM. Really nice job by him. And yeah, let's see if any new strategies are going to be used by both players into this game number 3. Currently the score is 1-1. Really interesting series we have here in between Canada and the Netherlands. Tournament of course held in Valencia in Spain. So let's see what the next moves are going to be. Of course Scarlett might try to go for her second expansion. The same however can be set up like for HARSTEM as well. Really likes to go for that second expansion really fast. There's a cybernetic score, so nice choke point being produced by HARSTEM. And yeah, the probe still hangs around just to see what exactly is going to happen, or if there's going to be a roach warrant for Scarlett. We also have a nice GG into this location. The first Zerglings to make it out here on the map. And yeah, the probe is being chased away. So let's see how any difference is going to happen here. We see the Stargate, of course, like many Protosses, there's this one Stargate, and I'm pretty sure that HARSTEM is once again going for really heavily Oracle gameplay once again. So let's see if that indeed is going to be the answer, or he might try to add another Stargate, even 2 or 3, and he might go for some Void Rays. It could be a possibility just to harass the Protoss, the Zerg. And yeah, there we have that second expansion point for Scarlett, so nothing out of the ordinary, pretty much the same build order just like in game number 1 and 2, as we see the Oracle indeed getting boosted out by HARSTEM. So let's see if he's now going to be finally successful against those drones by Scarlett. And yeah, the slogans are pretty much pouring out for her. Let's see where exactly she's going. Yeah, slowly but steadily we're closing at the 5-minute mark here, so nice warning has been completed here for HARSTEM. As more and more workers are being produced. 35 for Scarlett, 35 for HARSTEM. The first Oracle is out, and let's see where exactly is he going. Perhaps just scouting here the map for some units for some Zerglings, but yeah, there is no such thing, as the second Oracle is also chrono boosted out by HARSTEM. He might join forces with the first Oracle just to snipe as many units as possible, just to snipe as many drones, even leaving those Oracles behind to defend this expansion point. But yeah, HARSTEM is just going to ignore that. He's heading straight towards the expansion point from Scarlett, but there are 2 queens here for her and no spores, interesting enough. So in come the Oracles, but they've been spotted out of that overlord, so Scarlett pretty much ready for this. However, needs to be careful. 1 drone, might even 2 drone might get sniped. So yeah, Oracles early on are really strong. We do have a spore here, but 3 drones have been killed. Nice job by HARSTEM early on. Really nicely done by him. And yeah, let's see the reaction from Scarlett, still on the hatchery onto that main. And yeah, a 3rd Oracle I believe it is here for him. So 3 Oracles, 1 is just resting here after killing 1 drone. And yeah, once again HARSTEM out on the hunt. I really like that from him, with those 3 Oracles coming in just to check the waters, just to snipe as many units as possible. Look at that, nice job here for him. 3 once again drones have been killed, almost 4, even 5. Yeah, some drones have dropping really low, but this of course is buying time for his expansion here, as Scarlett also taking this expansion into this point. And here we see a Twilight Council being produced by HARSTEM, so we might see some speed lags upgrade for those zealots. We might see a push with a shuttle for him. We see Forge for some upgrades. Yeah, let's see what exactly he's going for, as he's now also at the 5-minute mark. We see Scarlett double expanding, so that's her build order, having those queens just to defend and just double expanding on the map, just to give her more and more macro advantage. We see some stalkers move out, but there are defenses here for Scarlett. There are Zerglings, and yeah, let's see those upgrades. Link is being done really soon. I believe HARSTEM is going really heavily onto those gateway units once again. We see weapons 1 being upgraded. We see a robotics facility base, so we might see some mortals, we might see some colossuses. It will be really interesting to see what exactly HARSTEM is opting for. As more and more Zerglings are being produced. For Scarlett, we see some queens nicely here to defend. No drones into this location, so HARSTEM has to retreat, of course, as we see once again a really strong push out by Scarlett. At around the 6-minute and 30-second mark, she might go straight for this nexus. She's going for this one pylon here. There is a shield battery, so the probe should be tanky, nicely empowering everything HARSTEM had there above. So yeah, really nice run by Scarlett, killing this one pylon. Nice job by her, as more and more pylons are being of course used now for HARSTEM. And yeah, we do see the hatchery being finished, this one here as well. Not that many drones, interesting enough. HARSTEM having 70 probes versus the 64 Scarlett. But she's going to take out this one rock. And yeah, let's have a look what exactly the next unit composition is going to be, as we see a Baneling's nest, so we might see roaches with Banelings, with Zerglings for Scarlett. Let's check. HARSTEM is having many stalkers, and some gateways are still being produced, so he might go into zealots with stalkers. Might once again try some Psionic Storm against Scarlett. We've seen that work out really well for him in game number 1. And yeah, massive amounts of Zerglings it is did here for Scarlett. Let's just see what exactly her moves are going to be. Currently she's just having control of the middle of the map. It's roaming around with those Zerglings. As we see more and more gateways are being produced here by HARSTEM. We also see another expansion point into this location, as the rocks should be cleared really soon for Scarlett. And yeah, we do see some roaches as a backup. This will be cleared. There's this one warp prism. And let's see if Scarlett is going to commit. Is she going to attack from 2 sides against HARSTEM? Yeah, some Archons once again being added. Of course, Archons really strong with that splash damage against those Zerglings. Let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. Is Scarlett going to commit? Of course, it's going to be really hard against those protected Archons. She might try to lure HARSTEM into a trap, but at the same time HARSTEM having so much vision with those workers in the air. And finally Scarlett pulls here through with those Zerglings. Lots and lots of splash damage being dealt against those Zerglings. The Zerglings might try to go for another attack, but they're pretty much trapped here. Let's have a look. Yes, Scarlett a little bit of trapped here. She might of course try to deal as much damage against HARSTEM as she can, as she's going to lose those Zerglings. Some probes do fall into this location here as well. 10 probes have been actually sniped by Scarlett, so yeah, she's doing of course the best she can out of those units, out of those Zerglings, because before they get sniped. So yeah, more and more Archons are being produced here for HARSTEM. Like I told you, Archons are really a strong unit. Splash damage really tanky thanks to that shield. Look at that, 350 shield and HP only. So yeah, the shield really strong. 12 probes have been killed, so HARSTEM tries of course to counter-attack, tries of course to make something happen, and we see that shuttle with those zealots, with those speed zealots here into this location. 4 drones have been killed. At the same time, a really strong army push out here by HARSTEM against all of those units, with those Archons in the front, with the Stalkers just to back them up. The roaches in the front here also taking quite some damage, but in come the Banelings, so HARSTEM has to split his troops. A nice looking force field here for HARSTEM, catching all of those Banelings off guard, freezing them here. Yeah, really nice job. At the same time, we still have those zealots being alive. Perhaps they should snipe some drones. So nice job here by both players with this nice stasis trap looking like spell. Really nice job here by HARSTEM, and at the same time also Scarlett nicely defending against those units. And yeah, Scarlett having more and more supply against HARSTEM. But yeah, economic wise, once again, HARSTEM looking really strong, really solid. Let's see what exactly his next units are going to be against Scarlett. Yes, of course, he's going for those Archons once again. He might try to surprise her once again with some Tempests, with some Carriers. It could be a possibility. Currently, Scarlett just pulling over him with some Zergs, with some Roaches. Let's see if she's going to commit here against those units. As yeah, Scarlett pretty much in control of the map. The creep spread is really strong by her. And let's have a look what exactly is going to happen as the Zealots once again pull here forward, forcing a pullback by Scarlett. Three drones have been killed. At the same time, another attack here with some Zealots. And those Zealots are pretty much left unpunished here. So 6 drones have been killed. Finally, Scarlett is able to hold this, but more and more of those drops really dealing chaos against the economy from Scarlett. Scarlett deciding not to wait, she's going to pull here over with those banings, with the Zealots, so lots and lots of splash damage being dealt, and look at that, so much splash damage being dealt. 24 probes have been killed all of a sudden, so Scarlett with a great move against HARSTEM. HARSTEM really hurting now, his economy is really hurting, as he's still roaming around with those Archons, with those Zealots. High Temples once again being produced. Really nice job here by Scarlett, somehow make it here forward, perhaps with a drop with some overloads into this location. So nice job by her, sniping so many units. So currently, of course, an advantage for Scarlett is at 90 workers versus the 66 for HARSTEM. HARSTEM, of course, trying to rebuild those units as fast as he can, and those probes as well as some Zerglings actually do make it here forward. And yeah, every kill counts here a lot, of course. Every probe kill is really important. You see, HARSTEM still has a really strong army. So many Archons. Let's have a look at the army from Scarlett. She has added those Ultralisk, and yet the Ultralisk should be, of course, really nice against the tanky Archons. Let's have a look if they're going to be engaging. Or Scarlett tries to come in from the back with some Zerglings, but yeah, they're all Ultralisk on the ground, and yeah, dealing so much splash damage. Still a nice kiting for HARSTEM, and at the same time he's once again bringing those Zealots. Those Zealots are really doing such a nice job here for HARSTEM, as so much mining time has been delayed, and even 7 drones have been killed. Look at that, those Zealots really dealing so much chaos, as we have a nice engagement here, but the Archons look like they're going to be able to hold the Immortals in the back, backing them up, of course. But the real also economic damage is being dealt here. The Queen has been sniped, so while all of this is happening, those Zealots really doing such a nice job here for HARSTEM, causing chaos into the expansion point from Scarlett. Nice position being found for HARSTEM, as it's just going to pick up and just move forward into another point of attack here. Perhaps this could be a good location. There is a spore here, but yeah, let's see if HARSTEM is going to commit here. Scarlett leaving some overloads just to see if it's going to commit, and more Zealots are being produced for HARSTEM. So HARSTEM somehow being able to recover 73 workers for him versus the 75. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen here. Still a very heavy gateway unit compulsion. Some units have been dropped here, but yeah, HARSTEM just buying some time just to produce his own units, his own Zealots. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen here. Has a nice drop once again. He might try to warp in some units, but this is being left unpunished by Scarlett. It's a little bit of a mistake by her, but of course it happens. As yeah, HARSTEM is doing a really nice job with this one shuttle against Scarlett, and at the same time he's also buying so much time for his units to be produced. Scarlett tries, of course, to do some economic damage with some drops, but yeah, HARSTEM seems to be ready for that, as he has so much vision on the map. We see once again some Ultras coming in, some Zerglings. So yes, Scarlett goes for us around, but HARSTEM really good with his kiting back and forth. Nice job here by him. Still a really scary army composition. HARSTEM nicely sniping one unit after the other. Really doing a great job. As Scarlett tries, of course, to defend with some fireballs out of those Ravagers. And let's see what exactly is the next steps. Are going to be a great connection out of those fireballs, but the Immortals are really tanky as they're getting back up by those Zealots. So a really nice job. The Immortals are still alive, so those are the real damage dealing. Nice force fields. But in comes Scarlett with a great surround here against HARSTEM. HARSTEM sadly is getting surrounded by those Zerglings. And backups do come forward for him, but in the end he has to GG out. So Scarlett taking game number 3. It's currently 2-1 for her. Let's just jump straight into game number 4. And we're back with game number 4. A very interesting game number 3. At one point I was thinking that HARSTEM had the advantage with those Immortals, with those Archons, but in the end somehow Scarlett getting that great surround against those units, giving her the advantage as she's now spawning here in the upper right as the blue Zerg on Tropical Sacrifice, and in the lower left in the red it is HARSTEM from Holland. A very interesting name here for a map, Tropical Sacrifice. Let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. It's a very beautiful map here with some nice fireplaces here into this location. So let's have a look. The first overlord is out. The drone goes straight for the expansion point. A really nice looking expansion point here, as we have a fast expansion. No spawning pool for Scarlett, so pretty much the same build order. Gas is out. Same build order for HARSTEM, just like in the previous games. Pylon into gateway, into gas for him. The overlord is also nicely but steadily moving out. A very bigger map here. Let's see, the probe is also coming here forward. You notice that HARSTEM is not doing that trick just to stop the expansion from the Zerg, as in goes Scarlett for that extractor and for that spawning pool. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary, pretty much the same build order for Scarlett against HARSTEM. Same game set here for HARSTEM as he's preparing here his expansion against Scarlett as well, and also nice choke point here to be defended as those carrier looking like points here. Really interesting stuff, and also nice crystals, floating crystals here on this map. So let's have a look what exactly is going to happen. Still more and more scouting going on for HARSTEM against Scarlett. Yeah, Scarlett with the same builder, like I told you. She's once again going for a harassment with some Zerglings, with some roaches, with some Ravagers. We might find out really soon, as the first Stargate should also be finished really soon, should also be produced really soon for HARSTEM. Of course, he has done a nice job with those oracles early on, harassing the mineral line from Scarlett. Let's have a look. The first queens are being produced as the spawning pool is ready with that speed upgrade really soon. And there's of course the Stargate being made for the Protoss, just like many Protoss. Of course, a robotics facility bay could also be a nice idea, with some shuttle harassment, with some Archons, with some Immortals even early on. But yeah, let's see. HARSTEM playing really regularly, really normal, as Scarlett also taking here her second expansion. And let's see how things will unfold into this game, what exactly is going to happen. We see one adept move out, but he's just going to stay here and block the entrance, and one lone Zergling, actually two of them, make it here through, as HARSTEM has to bring back the adept just to kill those Zerglings off. We even see one Stalker as the first Oracle is once again being produced by HARSTEM. So yeah, HARSTEM pretty much just like in the previous game, going for a really nice harassment against those drones. Let's see if Scarlett is going to be ready for this. She should of course be ready, as she has so much experience. The second gateway is being produced just to finish the wall in against any early aggression by the Zerg. Yeah, creep spread is also really nicely here for Scarlett. And we also have a nice beach here onto this map, and with some palm trees and with some grass, a very beautiful map here. Yeah, Tropical Sacrifice indeed, as we see a spore being produced by Scarlett. No spore into the main. Second expansion has been finished, as HARSTEM also takes his second expansion around the 4-minute mark. Yeah, Scarlett sees this, of course, so she knows that HARSTEM is preparing a macro-orientated game against her, so she might try to add some more expansions for her as well. And yeah, let's see how things will unfold. The second gateway, there's this one Oracle. I missed the first Oracle, yes, indeed. Sadly, I did miss the first Oracle move out, and there's two Oracles are here. They're going, of course, for this expansion point. They might try to snipe more and more drones, but the Queen's already here to fend this off. One drone immediately getting killed, the second one, so sadly here, well, actually she saved this one, but in the end it gets sniped, so nice micro by both players. As this time the Oracles are really successful, 5 kills for those Oracles. Really nice job here by HARSTEM against the economy from Scarlett, and once again Scarlett taking this expansion point. You see she going to take a second expansion point as another Oracle comes here forward. So the Oracle is not really being punished by Scarlett. I saw so many kills onto them, look at that, around 6 kills. And they even might try to cancel the expansion point on the sandy ground from the tropical sacrifice. We might also see Scarlett take her expansion here, so she's also preparing her macro-orientated game, a double expansion point for her, like in the previous game, just to answer against this one expansion from HARSTEM. So expansion here, expansion there, and yeah, expansion everywhere for Scarlett. Really nice job for her. She needs to be careful against those Oracles. Those Oracles are still alive, and look at that, not that many defenses here for Scarlett as the Starkers are moving forward, and yeah, just a couple of Queens here, so Scarlett got a little bit of guards. So many Stalkers for HARSTEM. The Oracles are not attacking, and yeah, the expansion has been cancelled. So yeah, the Oracles are moving forward. The Queens have to stay back just to defend. So many Queens here, as the Stalkers are still in the back for HARSTEM. I believe he even might try to just teleport them at home. So yeah, nice teleportation at home for HARSTEM. Let's have a look at his main. There is a Twilight Council, so he might go for some speed legs, might go for some more and more upgrades, as he's going massive amounts into gateway. Gateway is going to be here for HARSTEM, and we even have a robotics facility bay. Let's just see what exactly is going for that robotics facility bay. We see a shuttle, no observer, and yeah, those Oracles pretty much unpunished here, just moving out, trying to snipe as many workers as possible. There is a spore and a nice relevance being used as HARSTEM also nicely expanding into this location. But yeah, Scarlett not going to leave that untouched. She's just heading forward with those Zerglings, going to be able to snipe this, actually to force a cancellation out of HARSTEM, and she's moving forward. But yeah, the blink should be ready really soon for HARSTEM, and she should be able to hold this, as the Oracles are still alive. 4 Ks for this one, 2 for this one. And yes, Scarlett just spreading her units, just preparing attack after the attack. But the wall is really nice. This one gateway might get sniped here. So yeah, let's see. As Scarlett tries to attack from above and from beyond against HARSTEM. Yeah, really interesting stuff. Let's see the main. We also have a Banix Nest. We also have a Roach Warrant. We might see a mix getting produced here by Scarlett as HARSTEM takes his third expansion here at the 9 o'clock position. Yeah, this expansion is ready, but not really pumping out any drones, as we also see some Archons being added and some sentries. Of course, sentries really important against those many units from Scarlett. We see massive amounts of roaches, of Zerglings. We also see this one Baning drop being prepared against HARSTEM. Is HARSTEM going to be ready for this? That is the question, as Scarlett might try to attack here into this point. We see a nice shuttle drop, only a Revelance actually, and Psionic Storm is being used, actually being done here really soon. And we see the overall actually moving forward. Let's just see if Scarlett is going to be able to snipe some workers here. There's really many more workers mining. So in comes the Overlord. HARSTEM sees it, so he's stalking, bringing him some stalking here. There's only two probes have been killed, so really nice reaction out of HARSTEM. At the same time, Scarlett tries to attack, so that was one great defense here by HARSTEM, with his 2 Stalkers being warped in, and a nice walling being prepared, not allowing Scarlett to push here forward, as the first gateway is going to be killed. But yeah, HARSTEM having really great units here. Once again, Siren Storm being done here by him. Siren Storm really strong against those Zerg units. So yeah, sadly for Scarlett, her drop didn't really make anything happen here, as we are slowly but steadily closing at the 10-minute mark. And yeah, once again, the warning is being prepared, not allowing Scarlett to punch here through against HARSTEM. But of course, Scarlett is buying time for her expansions against this. And yeah, let's have a look at the work around 92 for her against the 81 from HARSTEM. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Great storms, nicely defensively being used. Not that many banings to make it here soon. It's just a couple of roaches with some Zerglings. So a great defense by HARSTEM. Really having so many Psionic Storms. I believe Psionic Storms could be in the next macro game against Zerglings, as the 10-minute mark has been passed. Let's see exactly what is going to happen. Scarlett tries of course to move you forward, snapping some gateway after the other. We see an Archon in the front. HARSTEM looking like he's moving out. Feels confident. He has storms. Really lots of splash damage against Scarlett, as more and more units are pouring in for her. But yeah, HARSTEM looking really tanky with his units in the back, trying to find a good position for his units. But we do see some banings pushing forward, but the storms are ready to hold the ground. We have so many storms being casted. Still 7 probes have been killed, and yet the main entrance is also being killed. But we see so many High Templar storms. And remember, one High Templar can cast 2 storms against Scarlett. And let's see this one Oracle now fighting back those roaches, and at the same time we see a nice army push out here by HARSTEM. The storms are keeping Scarlett at bay, and we see a nice shuttle harassment here for HARSTEM once again against Scarlett. But at the same time, this group of zealots really nicely attacking. We even see 2 Archons. So much splash damage could be dealt as the drones have to be pulled back. 5 drones have been killed. HARSTEM moving out. The best defense is of course the offense, as he's moving here forward with his units. Certain probes, certain drones actually have been killed. As HARSTEM is regrouping here into this location. He still has some units. Still some zealots are being produced, as the Queen will stand no chance of course. And yeah, HARSTEM nicely pushing here forward. Scarlett has to split of course her troops. He has to defend at the same time. There's some Zerglings to make it here forward, but drones keep just falling, as the expansion has also been cancelled. So yeah, HARSTEM finding the courage here to attack. Really nice attack by him, as more and more units will very likely fall, and the hatchery also taking quite some damage. So really great push out by him. That storms, those heavy High Templars really strong. So many drones have fallen, 5 of them, as more and more units will fall here. The Archons also dealing so much amounts of splash damage. Look at that, 20 kills for this one Archon and 12 for this one. So 2 hero Archons who are about to fall, but their mission has been done. Buying time for those units here, as the Deathbone keeps on rolling in for HARSTEM. Yes, Archons, he has Immortals. Yes, Starcraft, it looks like he has everything he needs, as more and more zealots will be sacrificed of course for him, for the greater cause, as many more drones will fall. And yeah, those storms really doing a magic stuff here for HARSTEM, as the Ravagers are a little bit exposed of course. Scarlett bringing her reinforcement, but the second expansion has fallen as well, and this one is under siege. Yeah, really lots and lots of damage being done. There was a counter, try to counter here for Scarlett against these units, but there are some cannons here to hold back. Some units are being teleported in, ropes have to be pulled, but yeah, HARSTEM should be able to hold. And the real damage is of course being dealt here, as the banings are so much exposed. Not that many will get some connections. And yeah, HARSTEM just keeps rolling in forward. He tries to find a better position. Not that much army being left for Scarlett, but he gets immediately stormed here. And yeah, Storm looks for me like a perfect counter against the Zerg. And yeah, there is the GG. HARSTEM takes game number 4. It's 2-2. Let's just jump straight into game number 5. And we're back with game number 5. A great series. We're going all the way to the game number 5 here, the last game. Whoever takes this wins of course the series, as we're spawning on inside and out on the ESL map. Yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Both players should play it of course really safe, as we see HARSTEM moving out with his probe. once again preparing of course the wall into this location. Let's see if Scarlett is going to try a fast pull, but I'm pretty sure she's going to play it safe with a fast expansion. So such a great second, fourth game actually here for HARSTEM with his death ball moving forward, attacking at the same time. He's not deciding to defend, just forcing Scarlett to stay back with his attack, and that bring him of course the victory. And especially those Templar Storms, I believe High Templars should be much more used against the Zerg. I'm not much of a fan of those disruptors. I think High Templar Storms are much greater, and in the end if the energy is lost you can of course morph them into Archons, and those Archons are also really strong with that splash damage. But yeah, let's see how things will unfold. Same build order just like in game number 1, and same build order just like in game number 1 for Scarlett as well. Spawning pool, gas into spawning pool, and fast expansion. Now let's see how things will unfold into this game number 5. So remember, whoever takes this game wins the series here in Valencia 2022 actually. Yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. The spawning pool is about to finish. There's this one hatchery, and yes, there's a cybernetic score, and I believe that HARSTEM will really soon finish his walling. We'll also see exactly when he's going for his. Pretty sure it's going to be a Stargate once again with some oracles. I see how strong oracles are, especially 2 or even 3 oracles against the Zerg, as we see that second expansion going out here for Scarlett. And yeah, let's see, no early harassment yet by them, just that cybernetic score being finished. I believe the first adept is going to be produced, yes indeed. And we should also see the Stargate being hidden here in the back for a HARSTEM. And yeah, let's have a look. The first Zerglings are out on the map. Let's see exactly where they're going. As we do also see a nice fireplace here into this location. Nice lava. Actually lava onto this map. And yes, we see the first adept moving out on the map. So very beautiful map. Once again, this reminds me of some Broodwar maps. And let's see what exactly Scarlett, also hiding a roach warrant, a really early roach warrant. Speed is also being finished really soon for her. Let's see exactly what she's going to be doing, as the first Stalker is also being morphed out really soon. The Oracle is also on his way, so HARSTEM should be really soon ready to attack those drones from Scarlett. So yeah, Scarlett actually producing some roaches, so really early roaches for her, and some Zerglings. Let's see how that will work out for her, as the gateway also being produced here just to finish the wall in. One adept is here, speed is being finished, and yeah, this one Oracle on the move out. The second Oracle is also being produced. So yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. Is Scarlett getting a nice surround against this one Stalker, but the Oracle is here to defend really nicely against Scarlett. And look at that, we actually see a strong arm move out by Scarlett. How many roaches does she has? Already 6 roaches early on, and it's just a 1 Oracle to defend here for HARSTEM. As HARSTEM is staying back to orientate into this macro game, but this time Scarlett deciding to attack. She's not deciding to go for more and more drones. She's not droning up, she's just heading straight against this one Artosis pylon. The Artosis pylon has fallen, just leaving all of those buildings unpowered, and even some probes have to be pulled now here for HARSTEM, as the roaches keep pulling here forward. 10 probes have been killed. The roaches might fall, but the damage is being done already. The Oracles try of course their best. We do see a Void Ray, and this Void Ray is going to be really important for HARSTEM to fend this off. Still roaches are left, just a couple of them, but in the end HARSTEM is going to hold. However, at what cost? Almost 20 kills against those probes, even 21 now, as more and more units keep pulling in here for Scarlett. She has really many Zerglings, and yeah, HARSTEM in some serious trouble. Of course, the Void Ray is going to be really important. Second Void Ray is much needed, but no such thing as Zerglings keep marching here forward. And interesting enough, Scarlett going straight for this expansion point. This one has been sniped already. The expansion is about to fall, so really bad early game for HARSTEM. Of course, the Oracle and the Void Rays try their best to fend this off. The buildings are empowered, and there's the GG, well played. Scarlett taking game number 5, the series end with a 3-2 victory for her. So nice early timing push. This is what I told you about her. She's pretty much known for perfectly executing those timing pushes. And a nice lesson if you're a Zerg facing a Protoss. So yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this series as much as I did. We'll be seeing, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.